put a Baroni suit on him and he would still look sloppy. You know, you could dress him up, but you couldn't take him out. And he was rude and loud and you know, he just didn't have any tact. I mean, I do remember a little story they were bragging about. Angelo and John Gotti were sitting in a hotel once. And I guess this was the time when Reagan was president. And the Secret Service went and spotted them. They knew who they were. They said, I hope you guys can finish your drink or your lunch and leave because the president is coming through this hotel. Then John Gotti and Angelo left the hotel and they bragged about it. Did you ever hear that story?
No, I never heard that one, man. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And that's a little funny, a little side story. But, you know, another one I wanted to bring up too was, so before Paul was even killed, you know, I think, you know, Neil was really defending Angelo. And, you know, Angelo even told, I believe, Sammy the Bull, saying, you know, once my uncle Neil is dead, you know, Paul's going to come after me, take me out. And so that's why they formed, not the whole reason why they formed that thing against Paul, but that was one of the factoring reasons why, you know, Gotti and Angelo, they wanted to get rid of him. So, I mean, that's what ultimately I think is what happened. And again, I don't think Angelo, they didn't want him to be around for that, you know, that Paul Castellano hit.
Yeah. I think Sammy, I never listened to his podcast, but I think he explained a story about this guy called DB.
Yeah. What was his full name? Di Bernardo, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Robert
Robert
Di Bernardo.
Close to Gotti. And I think Gotti was in jail. And Angelo created some terrible rumor that DB was betraying Gotti, and then told Sammy that Gotti ordered DB to be murdered.
Right.
I think Sammy Gravano told the whole story about how he was murdered, and then the dirt came out that Angelo owed this guy $250,000. So this was happening inside the mob. Mm-hmm. Guys were getting money from big drug dealers, you know, maybe on the pretense that, oh, give me $200,000, I'll put it out in the street, and you'll get, you know, a half a point a week, and I'll get a point a week. We can make money, and then they would kill these people that gave him money. Yeah. So I believe that Angelo took this $200,000 or $250,000 from this guy and then had him murdered, so he wouldn't have to pay him. I mean, that's what it wasn't the way it was supposed to be in the 60s or the 50s.
No, I mean, it started to change. And just to expand on this whole thing about Robert Di Bernardo, that DB you refer to him as, from what I said, what I've researched, yeah, and that's what, you know, Sammy said, that Angelo had said, you know, Gotti said this Robert got to go. He's trying to form his own little crew and, you know, trying to take over leadership, you know, basically start an internal thing. And then Sammy had eventually lured, you know, this guy to one of his places, his drywall company is what it was. And then they were acting as if it was a regular business meeting. And then, you know, one of Sammy's associates that were with him went to go get him a cup of coffee is what he was saying. But he ended up shooting him in the back of the head. Yeah. Hey, thanks for watching this clip. This clip came from one of my interviews I did in the past. Please hit subscribe if you want to get more clips like this. Also, if you want to watch the full interview, I'll put a link in the description. Or you can hit the button on the screen to watch the full interview.